Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning, episode 410. Today on the topic of college baseball, a topic that we haven't done a whole lot on, but I'm hoping to get some good college baseball content out to you guys. But today I'm going to be talking about the Florida Gators and whether or not they will win, or really can they win this year's College World Series. Obviously very early into the season. What do they play? 56 games, I believe. Right now the Gators sitting at 6-2. So today I'm going to be talking about whether or not they can win this year's College World Series. But before I get into that, of course, question of the day, and that is which Gators or former Gators catcher was part of the Rays team that just won the Tampa Bay Rays, of course, that just won the American League last year. Again, if you know the answer, comment below, and if you don't, stick around to the end of the video. Again, the question of the day is which former Gators catcher was part of the Rays team that won the American League last year. But let's get right into the video and address the fact that this Gators team, while they are very young, certainly has the potential to make a College World Series run. Really, like I said, a young team, but super talented. So I'm going to start with kind of what I really, really like about this team. One is the way we can swing the bat. Right now in Jacob Young, I believe strongly that we have the best leadoff hitter in the nation right now. I believe he is. He hasn't hit a home run yet this year. He really doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but it's not what we need him to do. He's got like a 27-game hit streak going. Hope he can continue it tonight. Right now, I think we're about 30 minutes from first pitch against FAU here in Gainesville. So when you guys see this video later, that game will have already happened, but at this moment it has not yet. So we're playing FAU tonight. Hopefully Jacob Young can keep his hit streak alive. Like I said, I think he's at 27 games. It dates back all the way to 2019, or all the way back to 2019 NCAA tournament. But again, Jacob Young leads the nation right now with 7 doubles. I think he's tied with, there's like a 3 or 4 way tie for first in the nation. But he's absolutely stroking. He got 4 hits against Samford just earlier Sunday when we had to walk off against Samford at the bottom of the 9th. So that guy can stroke. He's always starting off innings. So many leadoff doubles. So Jacob Young is the rock of that lineup right now. And then just behind him in the order, Jud Fabian at 4 home runs right now. He had 3 through 2 games just last week. Jud Fabian is really, really swinging the bat well, and I think he's like top 5 in the nation right now for home runs. I think that guy for South Carolina, I can't think of his name, but he's got like 7 home runs, and Fabian's got 4. So he's up in the top 10, I think, in the nation for home runs right now. So Jud Fabian is stroking, and then you keep going down through the order. Nathan Hickey is off the charts right now. He's got a couple home runs under his belt, a grand slam. Then you got guys, the 4 holes kind of alternating. Jordan Butler, I like Jordan Butler a lot, especially at first base. I think he's good on defense. Then you got, Josh Rivera in the 5 hole sometimes. He's actually been kind of struggling a little bit at the plate. He started off the first couple games. The first series against Miami, swung it really well. But against Samford, I was at all of those games, and he struggled a little bit. But I still got good faith in him. So I like what's his name? Sorry, Josh Rivera in the lineup's been swinging it pretty well. And then kind of didn't start against Miami, didn't start early in the year, but Sterling Thompson been playing right field he's a lefty. He was righty in the field, but he swings lefty, and he's been hitting the ball very, very well. Had an RBI triple against Samford, just been swinging it so well. So I like Sterling Thompson a lot. Then you mix in first base when it's not Jordan Butler, it's been Chris Armstrong who's been swinging it well. Had an RBI triple as well against Samford. And then bringing up the bottom of the order, infielders been playing third base. Colby Halter, he's been pretty good. I like him a lot. He's a lefty. He has a great eye at the plate. He takes quality at bats. He's not driving the ball out of the park, but I like him. And then in the bottom of the order, I mean, we've had Jordan Carrion at second base, true freshman, been pretty well. Had a couple RBIs last series. So, and then mixing in guys, Kirby McMullen hasn't played, or didn't play against Samford. He's the guy that's was part of our 2017 World Series winning team as a freshman, so he's in his last year here. I like him a lot. So really, our lineup can swing the bat very, very well, and I really have no doubt that if we were on the way or in the World Series, whatever, College World Series, the lineup, certainly no issues. Our pitching staff has not really impressed me a whole lot. Tommy Mace, obviously the centerpiece of our pitching staff, a guy that will be definitely a high draft prospect after this year. Is right now, but after this year he will be going to the MLB. He's guy that runs his fastball up 96, 97, and can really do some damage. But what I have not seen from Tommy Mace is really a lights-out performance. He did throw, obviously, the first game against Miami that we did win, so he did definitely throw the ball well then. But his second appearance against Samford, he lacked fastball control, and was actually throwing his off-speed pitches, his curveball and his changeup pretty effectively, but because his fastball was not on, he wasn't using those pitches a lot. And now I know this is a lot to base off. He's only had 2 starts this year. I think it's 2. I'm sure tonight's his 3rd. Or maybe tonight's his 4th. I think he's had 2 or maybe 3 starts, but I'm just speaking on one particular that I saw at home against Samford where he lacked some fastball control. And just in general, he hasn't been the lights out Tommy Mace that I know that we're going to need to rely on later in the season. Now, I'm not saying this is terrible at all. We're 8 games into the year. He's moving on to, I think, his 4th start, and he really... big deal. He's been solid. He hasn't lost a game yet, but he just hasn't been lights out, and I know that he's capable of it. So I'm looking for Tommy Mace to step up and be lights out. And then our other starters, Jack Leftwich, he's been pretty solid. Threw well against Samford the other day. He runs his fastball up to 98, but also not been great. And then our third starter in Hunter Barco has been really subpar, in my opinion. So our other starters need to really step it up. And then our bullpen, I have not been entirely impressed with either. Our number 1 guy out of the bullpen so far has been Brandon Sproat. He also runs his fastball up 95 plus, so we got a lot of guys that can throw hard. But he has given up several home runs and just seems to lack really control right now. Of course, he's still working into the season, and everything is not necessarily. You can't base a whole lot of what's happened or base a whole lot off of what has happened right now because we're so fresh into the season. So our pitching staff. Our starters have been, maybe I'll rank them like a B, and then our bullpen between Sproat and Hunter Mink, who've been the 2 most common appearances out of the bullpen, I would maybe give them a B also. So our pitching staff is certainly not playing as good as they can right now. And then our defense, we have made quite a few errors. I know earlier in the year, very early in the year, obviously, the first few games, I think we implemented Corey Acton at second base. He made an error or 2. Josh Rivera, I know, has made a couple errors, throwing errors and field errors. So our infield has not been lights out like I would hope it would be. Like I know we can play. So our infielding, I think we've probably made 6 or 8 errors on the year through 8 games. So I'm not too thrilled with that. Maybe we've had 10 errors. We have been making several errors that I know we should not be making, and our outfield actually is probably up there with as effective as our lineup has been. Our outfield has been great. Jacob Young in left field, Jud Fabian in center field. Jud Fabian has a lot of speed. As good as he can swing the bat, he plays the defense just as well. So between Jacob Young, who's super fast, Jud Fabian, who's really fast in center, had a great read on fly balls, and Sterling Thompson now in right field, our outfield is great. So to recap all of that, this Gators team can swing the bat just as good as anybody in the nation, can play outfield just as good as anybody in the nation, and has a great infield that I know can step up to the occasion and play a little better than they have been. Same thing with the pitching staff. Has not been great, but I know can be better. So really, looking at other teams in the SEC, the SEC right now, depending on what rankings you look at, the top 5 has 4 SEC teams between Arkansas, Vandy, Mississippi State, and us. Some rankings have us at 6. And Ole Miss at 4. Some rankings have us at 4 and Ole Miss at 6. But either way, the top 5 is going to have 4 SEC teams. So the path out of the SEC for Florida is going to be insanely tough. Ole Miss is a great baseball team, has the best uniforms in college baseball for sure. But great baseball team there. You know, they just dropped 2 games to UCF that last week. We know how baseball is. Not the best team doesn't always win, especially early in the year. So we can't base too much off those losses. But Ole Miss did drop a few games, just like we dropped 2 to Miami. That was a lot because of our bullpen really let us down there when we lost those 2 games to Miami. But so Arkansas, obviously, right now, number 1, great team. Vanderbilt, I think, is probably the best team in college baseball right now. Then you got us or Ole Miss in the 4 spot and Mississippi State in the 4 or 5 spot, depending on what rankings you got. So the SEC is insanely talented. And so the path out of the SEC tournament for the Gators will be likely interesting to see. But this Florida Gators team is certainly one that I think can make or will make a College World Series appearance. Can they win it all? I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Right now, the way we're playing baseball, we will not be winning the College World Series. But I do think that when this team reaches mid-season and season form, this will be a team that you do not want to mess with. So overall, the Gators right now are playing good baseball, but certainly not as good as they can be. Our pitching staff needs to step it up. Our bullpen needs to step it up, and our infielding defensively needs to step it up. But our outfield is playing great, and our hitting is really as good as anyone in the country right now. So I have a lot of faith for this Florida Gators team. Guys, that's all for the video. Comment below what you think of this Florida Gators baseball team, because I think we are great. But as far as the question today, your ex-Florida Gators catcher that was just part of this race team last year that won the AL is, of course, Mike Zunino. Guys, thanks for watching.